It's important to have a monthly budget because a monthly budget helps you to figure out what you're spending every month, how much you're taking in every month after taxes, and you're also just figuring out what you want to put aside for savings. We're just going to call this a monthly budget. If you need to pause this, you could just pause it so you can see what I'm doing. You're bringing in about 1,500 per every 2 weeks. All right, so we'll say this is your budget, $3,000. Now, what you can do with Excel, this is like a huge calculator. This is called a spreadsheet, and you could do a whole lot with that. You could change different things to look the way you want it to be. Here, we're dealing with numbers, so I want this to be a currency. I want it to be a dollar amount. I don't want any cents because we don't need to be concerned with that right now. So for the monthly budget, I'm going to put expenses. All right, this is how much I'm spending every month. First and highest thing that I spend money on is my rent. Or if you have a house, you could say mortgage. It's up to you. All right, and if you find that you need more space, you could just expand the column. All right, so we'll say rent, mortgage. We'll say food. We need food. If you are commuting every day, you could say gas. If you go to the movies every weekend, you could say movies, and then you could just do the amount of times you go to the movies. Pretty much everybody pays electricity for the most part, electricity or gas, depending on where you live. What else? Let's see, lunch. Some people spend money on lunch every day. Credit card. If you have a credit card or credit cards, you could put this in here. Say this is how much. If you own a car, you have a car payment, right? You could do that. All right. We'll have savings. We're going to have some money left over so we can have a savings. All right. Let's do a total of our expenses, and we'll put that here. All right. So let's put the. I don't really need this to be a big column. Let's say our rent. Rent is $1,500 a month. All right, that's a big chunk of money. Food, let's say you spend about 100 a week. So we'll say we can do this and use the asterisk to multiply 400. 4 times 100 will make it $100 a week. So let's see how it gives you that multiplication here. Okay, gas. Let's say you spend about, I don't know, $50 a week, and so you have 4 weeks of gas. So we can just do equal sign 4 times 50. All right, so that's $200 a month for gas. Movies. You go to the movies every weekend. You go to the movies, and let's say you spend about $25 at the movie theater. So we could do this equal signs 4 times 20, I think I said 25. That's $25 a week, so that's $100 a month. And you spend about $150 in electricity per month. You are spending about $12 a day for lunch, right? Let's say that's what you spend for lunch. So that's 5. You do 5 times 12. $60 a month for lunch. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's fix this. It's 5 times 12, right? Times, you would do 4 weeks. Wow, you spent $240 for lunch per month. Okay. All right, so you have a credit card, you have a couple of credit cards, and you're spending $200 a month for that. Your car was a used car, so you're only spending about $300 a month for that. All right, let's do the total to see where you're at, because you might have to make some adjustments. So we go here, and it's the sum. You could do sum, you could do average, count the numbers, etc., but you do the sum. Once you say sum, it's going to just look at the numbers you put beforehand, and it's going to say from row D8 to row D15, and it also includes this row here. So you just hit enter, and it gives you the total. You want to save some money, right? So you're going to take this money that you get per month, subtract your expenses. We call these cells. All these little sections are called cells. So this is in cell D3. You see it says D3 here. So we're going to do subtraction. We're going to do equal. Every time you want to do some kind of multiplication, addition, etc., you're going to use equal sign or plus sign. So you're going to do plus equal sign D3 minus, you could also click on this, and this is D17. So we're going to subtract these two. Now, you went over your budget by $90. You could also change this so that it could be a red to show that you have a negative number. Right here, that means you're in the red. Okay, that means you overspent. So you might want to adjust something here. So you could adjust your food, eat less. You might decide, you know what, let me reduce my lunch by some money here. Let's see if I could reduce it by $90. You want to reduce it by, no, we want to have some money to save. So let's put it reduced by $100. So now you're going to have to decide a way to have less of a lunch or cheaper lunch, or bring your lunch. So now you have $10 in savings, which is not a whole lot. You might decide that you don't want to spend, you don't need to spend that much money on food every week. And you might decide to take out $75 from that. All right, so now you have $185 in savings. All right, I could say every month I'm going to get this much money. All right, so let's call this January. All right, and you could say February. And please remember to subscribe. Subscribe so that you can keep up with me for the next things that I show you. You can ask questions. You could say, hey, can you help me with this on Excel? And I'll see what I can do. November, December. Okay, we're almost done. We're done. Okay, so you got January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I like to center these things, so I could center it right here and just put them in the center. And I want to say that I'm going to make this much for half the year, and I could paste the same amount here, right? You could do that. Now, let's say I get a raise. It's good to get a raise. You get $4,500. After June, you get $4,500 a month. All right, so let's just copy and paste that. I don't need to do it like that. I can just go like this, paste, and we have that. All right, so I right click, copy, paste, and I'm going to keep the same expenditures, right? And I'm going to put everything across. You could adjust these things as you go, right? And I'm going to say copy, paste, right click. All right. I could also, you see these totals? I can copy these totals all the way across so that it does the same thing for all of them. All right. And then we can look at the savings. The same subtraction is going to be across there. Your savings per month now is a lot higher because you kept the same budget. Now with your savings, you could also decide, I want to know how much my total savings will be for the year. All right, and I might decide I want a trip. I want to get a new car. So which of these things can I get? Can I get these things? I may decide that I want to put a down payment on a house. So I want to see if these savings for this year can help me with that. All right, so let's put question mark because I'm just saying which of these do you want. So I can do a total of all of these savings amount as well. And okay, I go here and I do the sum. And it's already saying you want to sum D19 all the way to O19. So you just hit enter. You can have $11,000 in savings right here. All right, that's your savings. Now I love to make a grid of these borders around them. That's my thing. You don't have to do that, but I like to do that. It makes it a lot neater for me. So I want to format the cell, and I want to use borders. So you can make thick lines, you can use small lines. I'm going to use thick lines for around the perimeter, and then I'm going to use these thin lines for the inside. I can do one line at a time like this, or I could use this and it would just do like that. All right. I also like to do thicker lines in between. You see you have these lines in between, and then you have these lines like this. All right. You could decide you want to make thick lines all the way across. I could change this. I want to get rid of this, and I want that to be at the top. So I'm going to add a row, insert a row. I like to use this menu up here. I can keep inserting rows. And I'm going to call this monthly budget, put it over here. Let's just copy for now. Paste. Monthly budget. You can color these if you want. You can make this like that. You could decide I want to make it in green. You could make it bold. You could make it bigger. It's up to you how you want it to look. You want something that you want to be willing to look at every month or daily, whatever works for you. This is monthly income after you pay your taxes. I'm going to put expenses and I'm going to put income. I could decide to make these bold. I want a little border for the savings that I'm getting. So I do that. And I could put the savings in green because it means much money for me. So by the end of the year, I could save $11,000 from my money. Just think about it. If for some reason you went and you got another job and it paid a lot better per month, now look at how your savings is changing. Because you could decide I'm going to keep the same expenses and just make more money. Now you have another extra $6,000. And then the following year, you could adjust things however you need to. Let's say you finish paying off these credit cards right here, right? You could decide, let me get rid of these now. Let's say for the last 4 months, you don't have a credit card payment. You could do edit and you could clear the contents of these cells. And now look at how your budget changes. You could put zeros here, right? No more credit card payment, got rid of them. Now you have $18,000. All right, let's say you decided I'm just going to use the food that I buy at the supermarket for lunch. You decide I'm not going to buy lunch anymore. Zero, 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 zero. Look at how your monthly savings has increased right here. A lot of things happening for you at the end of the year. You pay off the used car right here, right here. Now you have a savings of $19,920. Here's another thing you could do. You could decide I'm going to highlight this section and make it blue. It's more interesting for me. Since this is money that I'm taking in, I could decide that this is green. And you could decide to make these a color. It's up to you what color you want to. All right, so this is your expenses. You could decide to make everything in bold. That's what I did here. I could decide I want my expenses row to be orange, and I could decide to make my savings green again. So you could also make sure that you use dollar signs for these. If you want to have dollar signs, you can go to numbers again, format the number, put it currency. We don't need cents in here. And you could decide to make all of these dollars. I could do right click, format the cell, currency, and do it this way. So they're all dollar signs. Make sure you save your budget. Figure out a name that you're going to easily remember. You might want to put it on your desktop or you might want to put it on your phone. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And again, subscribe. You know somebody who wants this, who will benefit from this. Share it with them. And I hope you get to save a lot of money and you organize your income a lot better.
If you like what you saw and you'd like to see more in the future, subscribe.